Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Daily Spark with Dr. Angela, where we enlighten, inspire, and empower you to become your best self. The tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And today we are getting you fired up about the arts. That's right, we're talking music today, folks. And our special guest is Madelyn Victoria. And Madelyn Victoria is the rose of the deepest heart of Texas to become a Radio Disney Dallas superstar, a beauty pageant winner, the Shania Twain singing contest winner and finalist, a chart-topping country artist. Madelyn shares how her faith has remained stronger than ever, helping her cope with the demands of a young woman in the music industry. If you would like to know more about her, you can visit online at MadelynVictoriaMusic.com. That's right, Madelyn Victoria, from Deep South Texas to Disney Dallas superstar and chart-topping country artist. Well, I want to share just a little bit more about Madelyn. Madelyn Victoria grew up in the Deep South of Texas. She has performed in the public for the first time doing a local Christmas pageant at the age of 5. She continued performing and singing throughout her youth at local competitions and pageants, earning awards and recognition as one of the area's top young performers. Her songwriting career began at the age of 13 after becoming the lead vocalist at her church. In 2007, Madelyn competed in the Modeling Association of America International Competition and Convention in New York, where she won the vocal competition singing Sarah Evans's Real Fine Place to Start. That same year, Madelyn auditioned to perform for the Radio Disney Superstars of Dallas, was selected, and opened for pop boy band sensation the Jonas Brothers. In high school, Madelyn studied both opera and mariachi, winning accolades in both categories, all the while honing her guitar skills. In December of 2012, Madelyn performed in Las Vegas, Planet Hollywood, and at the NFR Rodeo, at the Shania Twain Sing-Off Contest winner. Madelyn has sung the national anthem at United League games, at local high school sporting events, political rallies, patriotic ceremonies, rodeos, stock shows, and including the 2009 Los Fresnos PRCA Rodeo in Los Fresnos, Texas, where Madelyn Victoria was crowned the inaugural rodeo queen. This one was one of many crowns that she has earned, including the Cameron County Cowgirl being named her high school homecoming queen, Miss Texas Homecoming Queen, and the second runner-up for America's Homecoming Queen. More recently, Madelyn Victoria and her band have opened for some of the biggest names in country music, including Eston Corbin, Turnpike Troubadours, the Tracy Lawrence, Kevin Fowler, Clay Walker, Josh Thompson, Dustin Lynch, Zach Brown Band, and the Charlie Daniels Band, and more. She is a top 50 CMT.com artist as well. Madelyn also gives back to her community by volunteering at local motor training events with special needs children, singing to the children at hospitals and rehab centers, and by starting her own annual event called Octave Higher Christmas for Children. Madelyn Victoria's debut single release, He Only Loves Me on the Dance Floor, reached #1 on the National Country AM/FM chart, New Music Weekly, winning an April 2016 Academy Award for Best Country Song. The video reached the YallWire.com top 5 most watched video charts. Her latest single from her self-entitled EP is Hold On. Well, without any further ado, let's bring on Ms. Madelyn Victoria. Hello, Madelyn. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Dr. Angela. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited about having someone on that has done so many things in such a young age. You know, accolades, accolades for being determined and for stepping out and making your dreams happen.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, do you think that growing up in Texas as our show comes on in Atlanta. I'm originally from Virginia. You know, Southerners do things a certain way. Do you believe that the fact that you grew up in Texas has an impact on your faith or how you understand your faith to be?
Yes, I actually do believe that. I think it's overall just the reason why, I grew up in Texas. There's a reason for everything, and I was meant to be here, and it just makes me who I am overall. And definitely my faith, definitely my music, my family. There's just something. I have family all over the U.S., and everybody, for some reason, they're all just coming back to Texas where they grew up. And I have family in Atlanta, actually. I have family in Florida. I have family in Ohio. Some family in California from my dad's side, and everybody just loves Texas. I don't want to sound like a typical Texan. But, everyone they're like, Texas is the best. We want to go back. It's the best state ever. So yeah, I feel like it's a big influence for me, and I love where I grew up. I grew up, like you mentioned in my bio, in the deep South Texas, and I just take in all, I have a very positive outlook in life and optimistic, and I look at, all the great things that here growing up in Texas, I use that to my advantage. And you can hear that in my music, and you can hear that, when I'm speaking and when I'm talking to people, and I tell people that, Texas is a great state, and all over there's so many different great things about Texas growing up. The people, the music, the culture, very diverse. There's so many different cultures around here, and I grew up. San Antonio, Texas, is still considered like South Texas, but I grew up 4 hours south of San Antonio. But I live here in San Antonio now, and man, it's one of the most cultural diverse cities, and I'm just so happy, and so blessed to be living here.
Texas is, in fact, a very beautiful state. I have been able to visit a few places. I've been to Fort Worth, I've been to Dallas, I've been to Austin, and it really is a very beautiful state. And I tell everyone, there's something beautiful about every state that makes up our wonderful country. We just have to find the right place. You just have to find a place that's, perfect for you. Some people will swear out that's LA or New York or Chicago or Atlanta or Miami or wherever it is. You just have to find where, God has really placed you to do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. So I can understand that. Now, you mentioned family, everyone coming home. It is really interesting how, when you're young, you do move away. Like I said, I'm originally from Virginia. I'm married now. I live in Long Beach. I'm 3,000 miles away from my mother, but there's nothing like coming home and being able to just spend time with family. So my question for you is that now that you're doing so much and you are kind of living in the public's eye, how does your family feel about all of the attention that you've been getting?
That's a really good question, and I feel like my faith and our faith as a family, our faith in God and what the Word says and whatnot. Like we hold on to that, and that's what keeps us grounded. And my dad, my mom, my brother, they're all very grounded people, and they keep me there. And I'm just so blessed to have them in my life. Ever since I was a little girl, they've been there for me. Not just my immediate family, but my uncles and my aunts and everybody on both sides of my family. We're all very tight-knit, and we're all very supportive of all of us, each other, and any accomplishments that we do. And I do have, on my mom's side of the family, very talented uncles, and they sing so good, and my cousins, and some of them used to be in a band kind of in high school, but no one's really done anything professional with it. They've never pursued a career in it, in just music, and I'm the first to do that. And they see that, and I say I do that for them. I say that, they never had the opportunity or chance, or, the way they grew up with my grandparents, they had to work in the family business. And so they really never had a chance to pursue that or see that as an open door. So I see this as my way of kind of showing not necessarily respect, but just just to appreciate them and what they, taught me even growing up. I grew up listening to them singing and around family get-togethers and gatherings. And so I do this professionally, and then, I'm the first one, like you said, in the public eye. I suppose, I have so many likes on Facebook and YouTube videos that are getting hits now and more. And so it's all really, I don't see it as a big deal. I mean, I do see it as a big deal. I appreciate it, but I don't like to let it, phase me or
I know
get,
what you mean.
big
right,
head or anything
right,
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So
now, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. I was just gonna close with, we all keep each other grounded, and I just thank God for that, and that's what really keeps us together.
Now I know that I travel a lot, be it that it's within California or like coming to Atlanta. Or going home to my mother or New York or wherever the conference or the seminar or whatever it is calls you to be. Have you found that you're enjoying the traveling that's required of you? Like, is it fun for you, or would you prefer to kind of stay closer to home? I know that the job has its demands, and I'm just talking personally. Are you the type of person that likes to travel? Like, I love the traveling. Or are you the type of person that's more of a kind of keep it closer to home type of person?
Oh, I'm definitely both. I'm very well balanced in everything that I do, and I love to travel. I love to see, the open road, whether it's on a plane or driving. I actually prefer driving because I love to see the sights. And I like to stop at different places and see different stores or antique stores on the way, or see the different people in different parts of the cities, and just really get to know, the land and what's out there. And I love nature and all that. So I love to travel by vehicle. But as far as coming home too, I love it. It's like you appreciate both. You leave, you travel, you appreciate that. You come home, and you appreciate being home and somewhere to go home to, and your family's there. And it's a blessing to do both, and I love both so much.
And it is so true. When you're gone, you do appreciate the coming home of family. It's nothing like crossing that state line, especially when you're driving or you're on the train or whatever, and you can see, welcome to whatever state is considered home for you, and it's like welcome home pretty much. And you're like, yes. And then you see that sign that says that your city is in so many miles, and you're like, oh yes, this is wonderful. And then you start to, and my son laughs and teases me because it's like the air is different at home, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like when you get older, you will understand. And it really and truly is such a wonderful thing when you're able to get back to that space and just know that, home is kind of like your oasis. Now, I want to kind of shift gears just a little bit and ask about social media, because I realize that, everyone is on the internet now. So where can people, before we go to break, where can people find you online? Are you like more of a Facebook person, more of a Twitter person? Where can they find you?
Yeah, actually, I am more of a Facebook person. I'm on there. People send me messages or comments, and I'm on there to respond. And I run my own page right now, so I do a lot of things along with my team at MTS Management. We work together, and I like to be hands-on on a lot of things. So I'm on Facebook. Everybody can look me up, Madelyn Victoria. I am on Twitter too. I'll send a tweet or retweet something at Madelyn Victoria as well. And as far as my music goes, music is everywhere. That anywhere you can download. So I appreciate that, guys, if y'all look me up.
Well, listeners, don't you go anywhere. We are going to continue to talk with this Disney Dallas superstar and chart-topping country artist, Madelyn Victoria, but we need to take a very short break. We'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today we are sharing some time with Madelyn Victoria. She is a Disney Dallas superstar as well as a chart-topping country artist. We're talking about music today, and I know that I am a huge music fan. I was exposed to the arts very young, was involved in all sorts of things. I come from a very musical family. You were not allowed, so to speak, to be in the family and not be able to play an instrument. You couldn't just sing a song, but you had to be able to play an instrument as well. So, of course, anytime I'm able to get an artist on the show, I want to do that. So, Madelyn, let me ask you this. Do you find it difficult? We hear all of these stories about the music business. So, is it difficult to be a Christian in the music business?
It's actually, the way I have it, earlier I've been saying, my perspective of life and perspective of what I do, it's just who I am and who I've always been, and I stay that way. I stay true to myself and stay true to the Christian I am. And, I always, my goal when I was a little girl and even now, and it's just, I've been the same person, my same goals. And I just want to be a light to this world. And people ask me, they've asked me the question sometimes, why are you not a Christian singer? And, and not to say anything bad about Christians at all, but these are the things that are approached by me, questions that I have been asked by me is why can't you just sing Christian music, or why are you not just you're not praising God, or whatever reason, whatever questions they had for me, and I just kind of smile, and I'm saying I am praising God. I am doing what I meant to do and what's in my heart, and He knows me, and I'm going out to the world and in hopes of people to see who I am, going out into the dirty music business out there in the world. and so, like you said, there's a lot of stories, and I've encountered a couple of things out in the world, but I'm not trying to hide from that. I know the world, it has some bad things, and and I'm not afraid, and I know that God is protecting me, and I have my family as my base and my ground, and my there to protect me, and prayers and everything, and so I kind of I have so much faith and trust in God that He's there with me no matter what, and where I go, and I'm not afraid to talk about Him to anybody, and not in a not to suffocate anybody, or not to just in who I am, and not to offend anybody. It's just something of who I am, and I could be I'm at a bar playing, or I'm singing at a church, or I love God, and that's my ultimate goal, is that people know that and see that through my music, and if they say there's something about her, like she's gonna make it, and I just want to let people know, oh, well, I'm going to make it because of God, and I'm going to make this and give Him all the credit. And so, yeah, it could be difficult if you let it be difficult, and I don't let it be difficult being a Christian in the industry.
Right. I love that answer. You just don't let it be difficult. You simply are who you are, and you happen to be a Christian, and you happen to be in the music business, so shall it be. I love that answer.
Thank you.
Now, I know that, faith definitely is important. And like you said, you already have a family that's praying over you, that's praying with you. So you know that you have that hedge of protection around you. And faith really does keep you going when you know the direction in which you're supposed to go, and you understand the purpose that God has placed on your life. When it comes to faith and application and music, is there any bit of advice for someone who is maybe a young artist just starting off, or even someone who's maybe been in the business for a while, but they've started to become a little disheartened? Is there any nuggets of wisdom that you can give to them, like, this is what I do to keep my faith strong?
Oh, definitely. So, like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've gained a lot of experience and know, a lot of ways. There's so many different ways to go about chasing your dreams, and there's so many different doors that open, and we all have our own paths. That's another thing. You see people with success, and you're happy for them, and if you read success stories, which is one of the words of wisdom I can say, look up success stories and see how everyone has their own path, and that makes you feel like, okay, I have my own path too, and this is going to be good, and whatever doors open this way, I'm go with the flow, yet I'm going to plan at the same time. And I've like I said, going back to, I've been doing this since I was very little. I've just had a naive faith, it's not really naive in lack of a better term, but just so much faith growing up and thinking, and professing it out loud. I started my band when I was in high school, and I'd see other people playing, or I'd see a band of like, like this band that I opened up for, a bigger band than me and touring. One day I'm going to open up for them, and this I'm going to have that musician, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Okay, what can I do? And I write everything down. I plan out everything, and I try to use, people say, well, you're not in Nashville, you're not in LA, you're not in Music City, you're not, like, you're just in Texas. What is that? Like, why aren't you there? Well, I use the tools around me. I am where I need to be right now. I have my faith. I do what I do, and I never give up. And I'm slowly but surely. It's a long road too. It's going to happen. And setbacks are really not how I think of it, but more as just obstacles and getting through and slowly progressing. And so, if someone's just starting out, I say if they're a singer, you go to your local school, go to your school and ask if you can start singing the national anthem, learn the national anthem, start a band. As first of all, start learning guitar, get someone else that plays a guitar, go to a local coffee shop, go to open mic sessions, and doors will open. The more you go out there, the more doors you open, the more doors will open for you. So I think that's one way to see it. And once you're already in my position, someone that's been doing this for a long time, I feel like, don't give up until you're 3 feet from gold and you never know it. You could be right there, you give up, and the gold is right there, and you just gave up right there. So that's the mindset you need to have. That's the mindset that I have, and I feel like, I give credit to my mom and my dad for that. They grew up with these, instilling this in me, and I want to instill in other people and in my future kids, and just keep it going, finding our passion here in the world. I feel that that's why we're here on this earth. God wants us to be winners. God wants us to praise Him and to never give up. And yeah.
No, I love how you said that, you wrote it down, and that is so important. And I don't think that people realize how important having your goal, having your plan, having what you've been praying for before your eyes, how important that absolutely positively is. It's not something that just because you are a motivational speaker, or you're a therapist, or you're just someone out there who's really into self-help. It's not a bandwagon. It really and truly does work. So writing down that you wanted to, perform for these bands. Let me tell you, the Zac Brown Band and the Jonas Brothers are no one to sneeze at. I mean, those are big names, And when I read that, I was like, hey, I love the Zac Brown Band. Okay, so it's absolutely important that we do those things that we have been directed to do, that we follow the nuggets that people give to us, and that definitely is one. If you didn't hear that, then I just wanted to mention that again, because that is really important, and you can see how far it has gotten her. Now, I want to kind of shift just a little bit and talk about your self-entitled EP. Tell us about your latest single release, Hold On.
Definitely, yay. So I've had this EP out for a little bit, but the single, we did release this for the summertime. And this song, I used to live in the Dallas area a few years back, and I know you mentioned that you said you've been to Dallas. And I love the town. I love the city. My best friend grew up there. And so I was living up there recording, actually, my EP. And just a week before we went into the studio, I feel like I needed one more song. And maybe not necessarily 1 week, but probably a couple weeks. I'm going back and thinking. But a couple weeks we were supposed to go into the studio. I feel like there was something that I wanted in there, a little bit more of my style, and something. I have so many different styles within the country, bass. But this one I wanted it to have like a more romantic feel, and something that people could still dance to, because when I write, I always love to see, here in Texas, we love the two-step, so I always want to make sure that it's a song that goes to my music and my roots in Texas and whatnot, and people love to come out to the dance halls and dance. So this song just came to me, and I call these moments God moments, and there's inspiration right on the, at the spot, and I started writing this, and it started flowing, and I wrote this within, a couple of weeks, and it was done, and I went right into the studio and recorded it, and I wanted it to be catchy enough. I wanted people to understand, and it is talking about romance and, my faith and whatnot. Of course, we want to be with our husband, wife, and we want to have that special bond, and when you find that right person. And so that's basically me and what I'm writing for the future, when I get married one day, and something that I will have And I feel like you can hear that, within that, and kind of the romantic, even in the music and the swells that the steel guitar is doing, and the fiddle that's mainly pulling your heartstrings there in the beginning. And I just really wanted that to be like maybe a romantic summer night country song that people hear right now as a single. And so yeah, so that's being promoted right now, and I hope everyone so far that's heard it likes it, and they can download it anywhere. And thanks again to my team at MTS Management, Michael Stover, for promoting this with me. And I'm having a lot of good feedback on it, and people are again saying, like my first single, how much they relate to it and whatnot. And I appreciate all the good feedback, and it keeps me going, that positive feedback for my music. And that's why I write it, for everybody to enjoy it.
And there's nothing like a really great manager, let me tell you, and someone who is kind and gentle, but yet can be strong and firm and do the things that need to be done for you, but keep all of it together and keep your world, really smooth operation, but yet getting the job done. Absolutely love it. Great job, Mike. I love that shout out that she gave you. So that's wonderful. People only talk about the folks that when they do a really, really great job, make note of that. So, that's a wonderful thing. Now, how did you feel when you found out that your song, He Only Loves Me on the Dance Floor, reached #1 on the New Music Weekly AM/FM chart? That had to be exciting.
Yes. It's the same feeling that I get every, it's amazing. It's oh my goodness, I remember the first time hearing myself ever on the radio, and that's when it first came out, and so that was just amazing in itself. And then you think, oh, that's just, this is great, this is where it is, and I love it, and then it gets even better, so it just shows, how much hard work that we put in, and it's how much it's worth. And I just again appreciate so much all the support, without the team and without the fans and people that like my music, I feel like I'm meant to do this, and that's what proves it even more. Oh man, I remember being with my family and waiting to hear about, we know that the charts are going up, and all of us just screamed and just had a little celebration right there, and celebrating even more afterwards. And it's just a song that a lot of people just have told me that's it, keep on promoting it, keep on doing it. And that, this one chart, Country Music, New Music Weekly, not to show any negative light to it, because any kind of chart out there is just amazing, and I'm reaching so many people. People know, oh, it's not the Billboard chart yet, but it's not but it's getting there, and it's the road to there, and it's the path to there. And I feel like, man, I'm just going to keep going. That's one success that's going to keep me going too. And the people that listen to these, and this chart is different parts of the U.S. and it shows the diversity too, of up north and to California and to even Georgia, and now to Texas and New York, up north, even to the northern states. I just feel like, man, everywhere they like this song, and it's pretty cool. And I just feel like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on going with my passion, and it was an amazing feeling, and it's really amazing. That's all I can say.
I can understand, and you're absolutely right. I tell people that many times when people try to knock down your accomplishments, or they are what I refer to as dream snatchers. They're the naysayers. Many times it's just jealousy. It's their inability to reach the goals that they've tried to reach and have failed. So if I can't do it, that means no one else is going to be able to do it. So I'm going to try to, pop your balloon. And it's like, they're just in a miserable place right now, and we can't allow that negativity to come in and dwell in our spirits. We have to just keep going, because there's nothing like forward progress, and everybody has to start somewhere. And hey, if we want Billboard, then we're going to claim Billboard, and I know that you're going to get it. So you just keep moving forward. And naysayers out there, stop naysaying so much and just take a moment to pause, breathe, and hit that reset button. Well, listeners, we need to take a very short break, and when we get back, we're going to continue to talk with Madelyn Victoria, and you can find her online at madelynvictoriamusic.com. We'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you for joining me on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Our special guest today is Disney Dallas superstar and chart-topping country artist Madelyn Victoria. You can find her online at MadelynVictoriaMusic.com. So Madelyn, we were talking about all that you have been able to accomplish. You have been an artist since you were 5 years old, and that you have these nuggets of wisdom that you can share with other people. And I think that is so wonderful. And you shared one earlier with us. But I want to ask if you can go a little bit deeper. So my question to you is that you've won several awards, various contests. How does your faith prepare you for success? And if you don't win like first place, and let's say you win second or third, how does it prepare you for getting almost there but not quite snagging first place?
Yes, awesome question. And I feel like, first of all, I'd like to say that there's the one thing that always is in my mind is there's room for everybody to shine. And, I have my path. Everyone has their own paths, and we're all, kind of overlapping our paths together, and our paths meet. And so sometimes, if something doesn't go your way, it's because it's someone else's turn, and God has something even better for yourself and more accustomed for you. And so I feel like from the beginning of since I was singing, since I was 5 years old, I've done these competitions, and I just have this passion for competition and in a fun way, not in a negative or, exhausting or negative way of bringing people down or whatnot, but it just to uplift each other and to meet new people and to gain more experience in everything I do, and just have this positive outlook. And especially and when I'm there in the room and I see people nervous or, I want to talk to them and I want to be with them, spend time with them and let them know, there's no reason to be nervous. And I will specifically go to, there's so many pageants that I've participated in and different competitions, singing competitions. I don't win every one. I will talk about a couple of things of that, but one of the competitions that I will talk about is the Texas Homecoming Queen. I was Homecoming Queen of my high school, and this is going to go to my faith and whatnot. Like, sometimes I do these things because I want it. I want to. I feel like this is my path. I win. I don't. God is there for me. My family's there for me, and we just move on and have that faith there. But sometimes there's something a little bit more of like God's speaking to you and you need to do something. And so God spoke to me, and I never really wanted to run for homecoming queen in my high school. And, I was so focused on scholarships and getting my work done. It's my senior year. I really want to work hard and make this worth it. And so, but then homecoming comes around, and that's the fun part of it. I need a little time to play, I guess, to play time. So we are putting together homecoming. I decided to run. I feel like God told me to. I won. And then he tells me, there's another competition called Texas Homecoming Queen. And so I run for that out of 50 girls. I win that. And I remember just knowing, and sometimes you get that God feeling like, man, I'm going to have faith. I'm going to win this. And that's it. Like, I know I'm doing this for a reason. And then there we go. I win that. And then I got second runner-up at America's Homecoming Queen, and I didn't win that one, but it was just an amazing place and path to get there. I've met so many amazing people. I learned and gained so much, and I know that there's a connection or a reason and something behind the scenes that God was cooking up and that I was a part of and that I got to share that experience with. So I think, the outlook of that has helped me a lot. I've done in another light, I've done competitions called, those TV competitions, The Voice and American Idol and whatnot, and I've been through so many hardships with that, and I feel like now I gained that experience to know, and for another reason, I didn't make it all the way. I made it past a few rounds, but I didn't make it all the way to get on TV, and that's okay. I've made it through. I've done other accomplishments. They say you win some, you lose some, and you just keep on and you keep on going, and the faith there, in my faith and knowing and praying and talking to God, he's telling me it's all right, this is here for a reason, and we all know that we all, it's for a reason, and that's basically it. And it's just helped me so much to have my faith and my family there, And I gotta say, I'm human. I get down sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing that if I get down, I'm gonna get back up. It's gonna be all right. Crying, if I cry, I know that I'm gonna be all right. Like, I'm gonna get through this, and we understand we're human, and we're just gonna get right back up, and that's the thing that matters. And so it's been a crazy a few years, but I love it, and it's the path and the roads that to success that really matters, and how to get there, and the experience that you gain.
Mm-hmm. I love how you said, I'm human, so I do get down sometimes. You do shed a tear every now and again because it is something that you wanted to do, but faith does allow you to say, well, perhaps this time just isn't my time. But there's nothing wrong with shedding the tear. There's nothing wrong with being human in our response to what just happened. It's kind of what we do after that. Do we lose our faith because we didn't win? Do we tell God, I'm out of here just because you didn't come in first place? It's like that doesn't make any sense, and that's a bit extreme. But just having those moments where you are sad, I think somebody needs to know that it's okay to have those, to have that feeling, but to just come back around and say, okay, God, well, what do you have next for me that I'll be able to do? And like you said, when you're walking in your purpose, when you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, then that door, I shared a meme on Instagram that says, sometimes when the door closes, it's not to stop you, it's to detour you and to get you back on your right path. That sometimes we get so far in our own direction that we forget that we're in the grass. We're no longer on the path. It's like God has you on this paved road, but you've taken this dirt road. Let's get you back on this paved road so that you can end up where you're actually supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, do you have any plans? I know that you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, that there's a little bit of a difference between doing Christian music and then doing just country music. Do you have any plans on doing a country Christian album or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I have so many songs that I've written that I have not yet recorded. I have an EP out that people can hear, of course, that we talked about, and my singles. And so I feel like there's something there's so many ways I can go about this. I want to just, not necessarily say, oh, here's my Christian album, I'm going to promote it in the Christian music industry. I want to actually have Christian country music in whatever albums, in every album that I put out. I want to have, something there, a few songs that's going to be praising God, or that's going to be specific to life events and to keep on going, And I recently wrote a song called Dancing with Angels, and it's a song kind of comforting those that we've lost, here in this life, and they're going on to the next. And it's a song that I'm going to put on my album, whether, it's Christian or country, and it's going to be out there. That's the beauty of the country music industry, that there's a lot of people who appreciate that and have their faith just the same as mine, and they like to hear those kinds of songs. And I've been, and I love the music of country. First of all, my favorite instrument is steel guitar. One band that I know that incorporates a little bit more of country kind of blues kind of thing is Mercy Me, and I hear that in their music, and I feel like I think we need a variety, and I love pop. Pop music is fine. It's gonna get people going, and they like to hear that beat or whatever. A rap, they want to hear that beat, and with the Christian words, and that's perfect for that audience. But I feel like there should be more of a balance of an audience for country music specific lovers with Christian words, and I feel like I want to be one of the first to really promote that. There's country artists right now that promote that, like there's Josh Turner, Charlie Daniels does that now. He's in gospel albums. I know back in the day, Johnny Cash was really big on that. He went through so many trials and tribulations in his life, and he's one of my biggest influences. And, just as a Christian man in the country world and in the whole world, he's just world renowned and going through the struggles and overcoming them, and really praising God, not mainly towards the end of his career, but whatever his label allowed him to towards the end of his career. And he put out gospel. He even made a movie he went all the way to Jerusalem and made a movie in honor of God. And so I feel like, that's something that I'm going to be doing as well, and then combining it with just showing the whole world who Jesus Christ is in my music with country.
No, I think you're definitely going to be able to succeed in that. When you talk about how country definitely has an understanding that faith is extremely important in who you are. It made me think about Carrie Underwood with Jesus, Take the Wheel. That song crossed over to everyone, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your gender, regardless of where you lived. At some point in time, you heard it even made its way into the comedian world where people were like, oh, Jesus, take the wheel, because that song really spoke to everyone. And you forgot that it was a country song or you forgot that it was a Christian song. You just understood that this was good music and that you liked what she had to say. So I can definitely understand that. So what is next on the list of things to do for Ms. Madelyn Victoria as a musician?
Yes, so as for right now, I have my single out, and we're promoting that, and the next thing is to release another one. And not that this single is not important at all. This is something that I'm really proud of, my song and getting out there. This was on my EP. It's been online for a while now, but we're just promoting it a little bit more on radio. But for this next single release, it is going to be a little bit bigger as far as where it's going to be reaching. It's going to be all over Texas and all over the regions here in Texas. We're going to promote to more than 1,000 stations, and then that's going to be additional to that other chart that we already had in the bag, and something that I already did with the number one for my last single. So we're going to combine those, and then of course to release on iTunes again, release on all streaming and streaming apps out there, Spotify and what iHeartRadio, and maybe even a little bit more this time around. And so, we're going to do that. I'm going to go planning my first radio tour, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'll be stopping at different radio stations and speaking with the DJs and whatnot. And of course, we're going to be releasing it to all of internet radio as well, and having more interviews and whatnot, and then promotion of the next single coming up, and then just getting releasing also a music video with it, another music video. I haven't done one yet since He Only Loves Me on the Dance Floor. I do have that. I kind of said that a little wrong, but no, I have a music video out, but I haven't done one in a while. So I'm going to be doing that again. Another music video, releasing more of my acoustic. My songs acoustic on the internet as well. Since I can't get in the studio to record a whole album just yet, but I will get there. But I will be recording acoustic songs that people can listen to. There's a few songs when I perform live, people ask, oh, is that online, or is that something that I can get right now? And I said, oh man, I don't, it's just, not right timing for me. I can't get in the studio yet, but I can. And I will be doing acoustic songs soon and putting it out there so people can listen to more of my music, more than just the 5 songs I have out there now. So I'm excited to get new music out to people, because that's what I do. I songwrite. I've been songwriting for a long time, and I just want people to hear my music, and that's just a passion that, I love to sing, of course. I love to sing, but songwriting is just something just as important to me, and I can't wait to get that out there to everybody, and that's what's next. So I'm excited.
No, as you should be. And, without songwriters, music would not be what we understand it to be. We forget that a performance is a wonderful thing, and we love a great entertainer. But a very well-written song is just beautiful. It will stir you however it is supposed to. I mean, a great song can get you fired up to, start a movement of some sort, to make sure that life is grand, all the way down to, a well-written romantic song will just, make you wink at your husband, so it's a beautiful, it's an art of being able to really and truly be a really great songwriter. Now, we have about 30 seconds left. I want to make sure that everyone is able to find you on the internet. Madelyn, tell us one more time, where can we find you online?
Yes, everyone can find me on Facebook. All you got to do is search Madelyn Victoria. Twitter, all you got to do is @Madelyn Victoria. I'm on Instagram. My music's everywhere online. If you just want to Google my name, Madelyn Victoria, and see where I pop up on there, you can click on, what comes up, and I'll be there. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, Dr. Angela. This is really great.
Thank you for being on with us, Madelyn. And as always, listeners, remember to shine your light. See you next time. Bye-bye.